Hi, I'm Divyaa Advaani. I'm an image consultant, etiquette, and a soft skills coach, and founder of the brand Suave. I am also an author of the book called 101 Tips and Tricks to Enhance and Upgrade Yourself and Your Image, which is available on Amazon worldwide. I'll put the link in the description box below. Today on my podcast, I have with me Mr. Sachin Acharya, who is a podcaster himself, and he's based in Dubai for the past 13 years. So let's hear it from the man himself, Mr. Sachin Acharya. On to you. Hi, Sachin. Thank you so much for being here on my show. I would love to know your journey and how you have inspired so many people. So, I would like to give a small gist about Sachin before we start hearing from him. He is a podcaster and he interviews a lot many business owners who have had a corporate background. So he tells people out there about the different journeys that an individual has had to go across, depending on their corporate life to their business life. So let's hear it from Mr. Sachin Acharya. Hi, Sachin.
Hi, Divya, and thank you so much for inviting me here on your show. I'm super excited,
So am I.
and yeah, and we've had our interview. I've interviewed you on my show,
Yes.
so and this is now my chance to be interviewed here. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name is Sachin Acharya, and I'm the host of the Be Your Own Boss podcast. On the Be Your Own Boss podcast, like the title says, Be Your Own Boss. It's all about taking charge of your life and taking ownership of the actions that you do. And to be at a very practical level, what we talk about on the show is entrepreneurship. The show revolves around entrepreneurship. So I interview people who have taken that step from have transitioned from being an employee to an entrepreneur. So I interview them. Yeah.
Lovely. So, Sachin, tell us, how did you get into podcasting journey? What made you start this podcasting journey and your own show called the Be Your Own Boss?
Well, there are several things that was one after the other, several things that kind of led the way to where I am today. It's like as if like a castle is built, but then it's built one brick at a time here, right? So, and this is pretty much how it has been. The first and foremost thing that I would like to mention is credit to Toastmasters.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you'll see that connection in a moment now. How is Toastmasters connected to podcasting here? But I was when COVID hit. At that time, I was the president of Bollywood Toastmasters Club, and we all, like the whole world, was suddenly faced with this challenge of going online, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the time when I realized that okay, we need to go online, and with online comes a lot of opportunities to display what we could otherwise not do in a in-person meeting. So I wanted to look at the online as an opportunity rather than as a challenge or as a obstacle. So when we went online in our Bollywood Toastmasters Club, I used this to play a lot of videos, and we would display videos, we would create video ads about the shows, and this got me into the habit of editing videos, and I just found my passion there for editing videos and being online, talking to the audience in a virtual world. And um, and then with this I got the idea of like how I can interact online, and also edit videos and do shows, right? So hosting a Toastmasters meeting online is pretty much also like hosting a podcast
Right.
where you're talking to the camera. And uh, and this is where the journey started. And then I had this deep, like a desire and a question that, at a given stage of life, like after working for about, let's say 5-10 years, somewhere in the middle of the career, every employee wants to be an entrepreneur. Everyone wants to
Absolutely.
start their own business, right?
Yes.
And this is nature. Okay, why this is nature? Just like if you've noticed, At adolescence, when kids become when kids grow and they become teenagers, right? When they get to adolescence, everybody falls in love. Now, are they going to get married and have children right away? Of course not. But nature puts them in that right path of finding the right soulmate at that age, when, because they, nature, this is nature, this is how
Correct.
nature is. Yeah. So and similarly, the desire that each employee has to become an entrepreneur is also nature, because this is how humanity can grow. Entrepreneurship is so important, not just for oneself. If you become an entrepreneur, of course you change your life, but also it's for the good of the whole world, the economy at a smaller scale. If you see the economy grows when there are more small businesses. So at a larger scale, it has that impact, and that's why this kind of desire is there. But then when you look at it at an individual level, lot of the people who want to start their business, they have a lot of questions in their head. They don't know how to get started, and they don't know what will happen if I quit my job. I can't just quit my job and start a business tomorrow, and then I'm not going to earn money out of it enough
Right.
to replace my income, right? So there are a lot of questions like this. So and I thought, but there are a lot of other people who have actually done it. You yourself have done it, Divya. So, and so many other people have done it like this, right? Who have made that transition. So the question is, what's the difference? How have people who have started their business, how have they managed to do it? And I wanted to answer this question for by asking many people who have done it. And that's how the whole concept of the show came together. And then I said, okay, if I'm going to ask people, and make it available for the audience, uh, just might as well put a proper structure around it. And that's how Be Your Own Boss podcast was kind of was born.
Amazing. So this leads me to my next question, wherein I would love to know, and I would love our viewers to know, how many people have you interviewed so far?
Well, that's a good question. I interview, I release one episode every single week, and I have so far interviewed about 45 entrepreneurs. And
That's a
I
huge
do
number.
interview, yeah, that's a lot. And I do see a pattern in the in the entrepreneurs. But yeah, I although I release just one episode a week, I interview a lot more. My whole week, I have interviews scheduled, interviews lined up, and then I'm about 3 or 4 episodes, 5 episodes ahead of time, always.
That's great. So, like you just mentioned, you figured out a pattern. So, what is it that you have learned talking to so many different entrepreneurs, from their journey from a corporate life to starting their own businesses? Would you like to tell our viewers about that?
Yeah, sure. The one common thing I've noticed is it starts with a purpose. It always starts with that a deep desire right from childhood. Sometimes it's not all the way right in the childhood. Sometimes this desire, or to serve others, to make a difference, comes a little later in life, depending on circumstances. But there has always been some kind of a deep desire to make a difference, make an impact. And be it a restaurant owner, be it like a coach, like in your case, you've had that desire to make a difference in people's life when you told me your story, right? And similarly, there are so many other stories where there is a desire for impact. And when this desire for impact meets with action, and in some cases, there is just sheer madness and directly jumping in with both feet. Okay, but in most cases, I've and I'm saying, because I'm giving you the statistics of
Right.
what I notice as my this,
Yes.
right? So in most cases, I've seen people have done meticulous planning. by looking at their options, weighing the considering the risks that are involved, and then they take action after considering everything. So yeah, desire and then action. These are the two like the the connecting dots that I've seen in all the episodes.
Right. So talking about desires, what has your desire been towards BYOB, be your own boss?
My desire, as like I was mentioning about the creating that bigger impact here, right? So at like nature has puts this desire in people because that's how nature that's how mankind can grow. And well, I'm not thinking all the way at the mankind level, but I'm thinking at the economy level, at a country level.
Mm-hmm.
For me, the society, the country, the economy can grow when there are more entrepreneurs. So my purpose is that I want to encourage people to start their own businesses. I remember when I was sitting at a dinner table once with a group of people from a company. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and this was a group of people from a radio station. And
Okay.
so the radio jockey is sitting right next to me, and a few other radio jockeys are sitting there, and the technicians and everybody. And one of those people was their boss. Okay, the owner of that radio station. And when I said I run, this is my company, and I run Be Your Own Boss, the boss was uncomfortable. The boss was like, "Don't listen to this guy," like because because he doesn't want his people to quit the job and go start their own business,
Right.
right? but, but that's the point, like creating businesses. By creating small businesses, starting your own, you provide employment to people, you expand the economy. And this is like when you say in academia, they say that once you do your masters, you're like practicing what you've learned. But when you do your doctorate is when you create a small spike in that body of knowledge in the world. With every small spike, everybody creating a smaller spike, the whole sphere becomes bigger.
Right.
And this is that one small spike I'm trying to create here. And I'm hoping that many others like this will start. People say people don't like competition, but I want competition. I want people to do what I'm doing and create more such podcasts and create that, so that we can grow the sphere bigger.
Absolutely. And as far as competition is concerned, I think there needs to be a healthy competition, because it's not the competition with the others first. The first and foremost competition is with you yourself. If you have the willingness to be doing something, and this is something that, I have learned over a period of time too. There was a time when even I used to think that, oh no, that's a competitor. But then when I started collaborating and working along with people, I understood the difference and how you can grow together. So that's a very good thought that you have, and you want more people to be doing that. Kudos to you for that. Apart from that, you also mentioned about people starting their own journey, becoming small business entrepreneurs. So when you talk about this, it led me to another question of mine. So this is a very similar thing to what a person in a corporate world would think like. So, like you earlier mentioned, right, that people who are in the corporate world, they find it difficult to, stop with their salary altogether if they get into a business, because obviously the moment you get into a business, the returns are not coming in, right? So when you interview such people, you've seen so many journeys, 45, like you mentioned so far. So you have seen 45 journeys specifically. And I'm sure apart from that, also you have been interacting with so many different people and you must be hearing each of their stories. So what is that one message that you would like to give our viewers who want to, because you have seen the corporate to business journey, right? So what is that one tip that you would like to give our viewers about somebody who's planning to start their own business and get out of their corporate world? So what is it that you'd like to say here?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Divya, and thanks for asking that. And I would like to share this knowledge that I've learned from one of my guests on the show. And if you guys have watched the Be Your Own Boss podcast interviews, um, check out the interview of Abdul Ghafoor. Okay, Abdul Ghafoor said this, and I'm quoting him. He said that if you want to start a business, the first thing you need to decide is what kind of business you want to start. Okay, and he categorized the businesses into idea-based businesses or capital-intensive businesses. So an idea-based business would be like, starting a channel or a podcast, becoming a coach. So you're selling your services and your products are less of a hardcore physical products and more of a an idea, a concept, and services and knowledge. So that's knowledge based business. And the other ones is like capital intensive business, which is like the traditional businesses. You want to set up a factory, start and open a restaurant, a chain of restaurants, or put a hotel or whatever. So the second category, let's talk about that first, because that's capital intensive. You'll need a lot of money for that. Okay. So if you have a big chunk of money, and I'm going to go a little detail here, okay, because this is important, and take a bit of time here to kind of explain the whole process here. So if you take that capital intensive path, if you want to start a business, first thing, you need a big chunk of money in your hand immediately. Okay, if you have that, maybe you have a savings already, and then you quit your job, and then you get your full and final settlements and your end of service benefits and everything. Figure out what you can have as a lump sum amount in your hand, and then take this amount and divide this into three chunks. Okay, create three chunks of it. The first chunk is 1/3 of your amount that you have is the amount that you can put in as capital in your business. So only start a business that you can start with that 1/3 amount, right? So don't go any beyond that limit. So that's your upper limit. The second chunk of it, the second third of it, you keep it for running your family until your business takes off, right? This is your to pay your bills. And of course you need to cut down your expenses, and you need to reduce your outflow, because you can't spend the way you used to spend when you were salaried. And the third chunk is reserve for a rainy day. You must keep that one chunk untouched for a day, because remember, it costs a lot of money to close a business. Even if things don't work, 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line, if you decide to just shut down, first of all, it's not easy to shut down a business. It takes money and it takes time to shut down a business. So do keep that as a reserve for the rainy day. And then this is the second chunk, the capital intensive side. But if you decide to start an idea based business, then you work on your idea, work on the concept along with your job. If you're working 8 hours, 10 hours at your job, work uh, extra 5 6 hours on your idea, and build that until you start generating enough revenue from it so that you can comfortably quit your job. So this is the distinction. This is the advice that I got from Abdul Ghafoor, and I'm just sharing that with you all. So it's a borrowed knowledge, not my own.
But that's how we learn. That's lovely that you shared this with us. What you have learned from other people, you're sharing it with us over here, which is a very great thing. And all our viewers, I'm sure, are going to benefit out of this knowledge. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. I would now like to ask you, Sachin, that since you have been running your own podcast, where is it that our viewers can, have a gist of your show or watch your shows or hear your shows?
Yeah, it's sachinacharya.com. That's the easiest way to find me. My name is Sachin Acharya, and my website is sachinacharya.com. On my website, you'll find the links to my YouTube channel. I'm on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, and also on social media like LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. But yeah, sachinacharya.com is the easiest way to find me there.
Great. And anything else that you would like to share with our viewers? Any insights that you would want our viewers to, know about or learn from what you have learned from other people, from your own journey?
Yeah, I would. The one thing I would definitely like to add here, and I think your questions have been great, and we've covered pretty much all aspects of what I do at on the Be Your Own Boss podcast. But just one thing at an emotional level, at a sentimental level, do believe in your dreams and don't give up. This is. It sounds cliche. You must have heard this sentence like 1,000 times, but trust me, it is so important. It's worth repeating 1,000 times. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, because I'll share one little personal story here. I come from a very humble background, and there have been a long struggle to reach where I've reached here. Okay, and there were times when everything was going wrong, and it was a completely it was a very difficult situation. And one man told me, and I'm really thankful to that guy who told me this. He said that, Sachin, all around you right now is darkness. Don't look at this darkness. Look forward to that one bright day and keep working towards it. And I'm telling you right now to the audience that look forward to that one bright day and keep working towards it. And that day will come.
Absolutely. Like they say, right? हर अंधेरी रात के बाद एक सवेरा जरूर होता है. So that surely
Absolutely.
does happen. And definitely it is very necessary to see that silver lining on a cloudy. But thank you so much, Sachin. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our viewers?
I think you've covered it very well, Divya. Your questions have been wonderful. So thank you so much for asking those.
Great, great. So thank you so much, Sachin, for being here with us and telling us about your journey and also telling us about your personal life, how you got to where you are. And I think, every person out here must understand that a person who is into a business has not achieved things magically or has been inherited with it. They have really worked hard for it. They have put their days and nights together to get where they are right now. So, though some fortunate people might get everything ready made from their ancestors, but there are also people today who have worked really hard and have reached where they wanted to. Setting goals for themselves have been a major agenda for each one of these business owners. And that's exactly what I like to cover here on my channel. And to get to each one of you that, these business owners, the journey that they have been coming through and where they have reached today is only and only because of the hard work that they have put in. Similarly, we even saw Sachin today. He just mentioned to us about his personal life, about how he also had to go through quite a few things, and then he has reached where he has today. So, thank you so much, Sachin, for sharing that personal insight of yours with us. I would really be thankful if you could just give one small departing message to our viewers before we end the show.
As a departing message, Divya, I'd like to repeat here again that, look forward to that one bright day and keep working towards it. Yeah, this is so important that it's worth repeating, and I don't want to add anything more to that to dilute that
Keeping
message.
it
This is
simple.
important. Yes.
Absolutely. Lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sachin. So, this was Mr. Sachin Acharya, who was with us today, and he told us about his journey of being a podcaster and how he has been on his podcast show with so many different business entrepreneurs revealing their lives, their corporate to business life. And like he also mentioned, you can look him up on his website, sachinacharya.com. You can also find him on the various platforms that he mentioned to us: YouTube, Spotify, for Apple, for Android, for all these places. He is available there on Stitcher as well. So you can look him up there and hear all the podcasts, see the podcast for that matter also. Thank you so much for being here with us today. We had Mr. Sachin Acharya on our Swaview podcast with Divyaa Advaani. And I would be bringing up even many more stories of different business entrepreneurs. So stay tuned to my channel. If in case you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would request you to please do so. And do not forget to click on the bell icon next to it so that every time a new video is put up, you get notified about it. Apart from that, if you've already subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for being here with me. And I hope to keep getting you inspiring stories of different business entrepreneurs each time that you come on my show. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here with me. Until I see you next, keep smiling, keep shining.